Hi, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home, and today I want to do the pull-up slider card. So make the template for the card and then we'll go over to the craft table and decorate. So let's get started. I'll move that out the way. We're going to start by getting the rectangle, and I want to do a fairly big one. Obviously the size is up to you, but whatever size you're doing, you obviously want to double it lengthwise and add a little more, say ½ inch for the tab. So I'm just going to check my sizes. Okay, so for this one I want that, and see I've undone the maintain aspect ratio so that it doesn't interfere, at 10.5. and then the height, I think I've done it at 5. Oh, of course I've done it at 8. I've done it at 8. Well, 7.5. Okay, so 10.5 because we want it 5 across. So double that is 10, and then ½ inch for the tab. Sorry. So I'm using X and Y because I want to make sure I've got my score lines in the right place. So at the moment, there, I want that on one and I want that on one, and then we'll get the score line and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter if you don't get it exact, but if you've got it nearby then that's helpful. So that says 6 because that's on 1, add 5 is 6, but it's a little bit further over, so we've got to go back to 6, and this one is adding the turn thing at the top, so you don't have to worry about that. And so we'll get the next one, and oh, I've gone right over there. There we go. So that's the 2 score lines in place, and then we need 2 cut lines to feed the next part through. So we need the path tool again. Didn't get it that time. And we need to go about 1 centimetre down, click, go about there. Oh, and double click, sorry. And again, don't forget to double click. So that would be our 2 cut lines to fix the next size down. So we're going to group all that because we know it's all done, and then we're going to duplicate because it really doesn't matter how exact. I'll show you rather than trying to explain. So this next one has got to be 850 by 5. So if we just change that to 8 and that to 5, you can see the score lines are still in place, but they're not in the center. So all we're going to do is layer, ungroup, now this one's at 105, so I'm gonna, because that's the one that matters, so don't worry about the Y for now. So the X we want on 1, so that we know if you go to your layers, it would be one of the lower ones. There we go. We know this one we want on 5 because it's 4 across this time. So if that's on 1 plus 4 is 5, and then it's easier to pick it up from the layers because it's a dotted line. It's really hard to get hold of the line. So if you pick it up on there, and then come back, and that says 09. So we go to 9 and we know that that's in the right place as well. The 2 cut marks, they're obviously not in the center. Oh. They need to come over that way a lot more. I think that's about right, to be honest. I don't think it's going to matter, so we'll group that one up. And if you try and, if I colour these, that's why I coloured these. Actually, should I just show you on them? So this is the third one. This is the second one that's going inside. You imagine it folded up, and you have to stick it to a tab that you put in between these 2 lines. So it's going to come down to about there, and it'll only go up to where the tab goes. So you've got a, so it'll go to about there. And then this one, again, you've got to work out with that tab. This one will go down to about there, which is just enough for you to lift it up from here, and it will lift up to about there. So it's kind of spot on, really. So we've got them 2. If we colour them, then it's easier for you to see it for what it is. I'm going to put these back. So for the third shape, I'm not going to do that again. I want one of them and a square. Oh, I think I've done 2 now, sorry. Okay, so we want the top like that. So what we're going to do is, for the width, we're going to change it to 3.5, and then we are going to weld, and there we have our shape, although I think I want it a bit more like that. So what size is that? C4. Yeah, I feel like that's about right. But then we want to duplicate, because we're going to fit them together. Make sure they're lined through the center like that. I think they're too far. That should do. How much is that together? Oh, it's almost, so yeah, that's fine with me. And we weld them, and then we're going to need a thin rectangle, and we're going to duplicate that because we need that in a minute as well. And all we're going to do trying to get it on 90 degrees. So much easier just to... Okay, so all we're going to do is do this the size we need it. You can get in a lot closer, obviously, and we only need it 1/2 inch wide. There we go. We will move it out a little bit, and then we'll attach that as well. So now we're going to come out, zoom to mat size, and we're going to add our score lines. So pick your score line. I always like the wider one, the one with more distance, so that it doesn't break off the card. Okay, so now with this one we don't need the cuts in the middle because it's the last part, so we can group it, and that's our third part. For this we need it to be 5 by 1/2 inch, and we need 2 of them, and they are going to be the straps to put these through there and attach the previous ones. So now that is all there is to that. That is as simple as it gets. But now what you need to decide is what you want to use as toppers. Now I'm just going to find some toppers that I've got, or use some of the die words that I have and add that to it. But obviously if you want toppers on there from your scan and cut, then you also need to cut them out. So for now you need to cut 1, 2, them 2 and this one in your chosen colours, and I'll see you over the craft table. Okay, so I'm over here at the craft desk. I've cut all my bits. I have to say actually, this, before I start, this is a new buy for me. I was very sceptical at first, just thinking it was all hype, just to get you to buy another new trimmer and everything. But in the end I gave it a go because I do have dexterity problems, and I have problems with pushing, and that's why I decided to give it a go. And I've got to say, it is, as it says, it really does work. But anyway, it's been brilliant for me. So I've got my 3 bits. When you fold in, make sure that your cuts are nearer the top than the bottom where you've put them. And then all we've got to do to put it together, it's really simple. You're going to put a strap through the cut, and then you're going to fold it over so that it sticks together. Don't do it too tight because you want it to move. So don't do it like, let's try and get it straight. So let's have a look. We need it so that it will run up and down the cut line like that, as you can see. So I will glue it, and then what I would do, because I want it to be, I want this layer to be inside so you can't see it when you first open it. So I'm going to bring this down here and then stick this part where I know it's going to be inside, and that is how you stick it together. So we'll put some more glue on. And that way I know that I've got it in the place I want it. So I just put it just inside, like that. And then before we go any further, I'll start adding some toppers, because I'm not sure, or should we just stick the next one? Yeah. So the next one is the same thing. Just make sure you only put it through this one and not the next, not the big one underneath. And it's the same thing. You just want to make sure that it all run up and down okay, which it does. So again, you're gluing it together, or tape if you prefer tape, obviously. And when this one is closed, I want the top tab bit to just be sticking out. So I'll bring this to the bottom, and I think like that. There we go. That's about right. So again, we stick it, just so that the tab is sticking out for you to pull. You can put pull on it if you want, but I think people automatically will, to tell you the truth. Okay, so now we can close these bits. Well, this one we can. It should all come up. There we go. For some reason I've cut this out shimmer card, so it's taken a bit longer for the glue to take effect. Okay, so I have a nice bit of mirror card to go over the top. And then I was thinking a little bit of this with that on top, and I think that would look pretty. So I want a piece, what was this? I can't remember now. Sometimes I'm useless. Okay, so that is exactly 4, so that's 3. So I need to do it about 3 1/4. I don't necessarily have to do the whole sheet, but and I know it's 3 wide I have to do, and then so maybe if I do that by 3, then I don't have to worry about, and then that's the pull tag. Yeah, I'll do that. Sorry, chatting to myself. So this is something I picked up in a kind of, you know, one of those big bundle bags you can get, and this was in it. And I didn't use it for ages, but actually, just as a accent, it's lovely to use. It's not great if you want it. I think it's too much as a whole sheet. I know I've covered the whole thing here, but I wouldn't use it as a whole sheet. And here I've just used some of my very old dies. These are some old Spellbinder dies that I very first had. Just as a pretty pattern. And where's my ribbon gone? I just want to do a little bow in the middle. I've got to put the glue gun on, so I'll just do that. So I'm just going to tie a little bow. So the trick to this is bunny ear bow, just a simple one. So you just get the two like that, cross them over, and then tie a knot. When you do this bit, just flip it over. And then tighten again, and just keep going till you're comfortable with it. And you want a very tiny one here, so and then cut. And if you leave it on the roll, you don't waste any. Okay, and then we'll just put it there. As long as it's ready. It's not quite ready yet. So I'll come back to that in a minute. If I just, before I seal this, I'll put the next layer on. Already got it ready. So this is just, yeah, what I wanted to say is I used, now this is one of those hunky-dory little books. It's a really old one. Butterflies. What I like about them is they give you 6 of every design. So for the front one, I've cut it out and laid it up, as you can see. So you can use it as decoupage, or like this one, I just used it as a plain picture, which is a very good way of using it. So I'm just putting it on there. Right, hopefully that'll be ready now. There we go. So that's all I want there, is just like a bow. And then, oh, I wonder if one of these will, oh, I think I'm going to do that. I was just going to put a normal gem, but I think one of these might look fantastic. I don't always put something in the middle of the bow, but it can look really stunning sometimes. There we go. So just a simple pattern on the top, like that. And it goes up and down fine. And then I will close this one. Now this one is, I've decided, is the one that's going to have my sentiment on, but you decide yourself. You can put it in the top one or in the, well, like I said, you decide. I probably shouldn't have put that thing on the bow, because it might stop it from coming out properly. No, it seems all right. So I've got happy birthday, and then I thought I would put this just across, just to tie in that I've used it every time, because I've used it a bit on the other one as well. So I am going to glue my hand for the happy birthday. Just need a bit of scrap. To paste it. It's just the easier way of doing it most of the time. So I want it at a nice jaunty angle. Didn't do it properly there. My other trimmer with this takes about 3 cuts and then I've got to finish it with scissors. It is old and that is why I bought a new one, because I was fed up. Okay, so we just put this just across as a bar. We've got happy birthday. And just a string of them through the middle. There we go. And now for the last piece, we'll stick down. So this is the bit where you can do proper 3D embellishments if you wanted. Now, I've already got the bow for this, but I'm wondering... Oh, I think just that. Okay. So... let's use the same thing again. And then I wanted some sparkle in the flowers, so I wasn't sure which ones I was going to use. I've got a few out. See which looks better. I'll just do pearl. I think these. On them. butterfly has got to have a gem. That one can have one right in the middle. And that one. So that's what I've done, just as a simple pull-up card. You can always put a hole and a ribbon in there to show to pull, and it just comes up like that. So if I do it that way, there you go. There's your pull-up ribbon card. I hope you enjoyed that, and obviously you're going to have loads of different ideas of what you can do with it. I did have loads of different ideas. I tried to go a bit generic. I tried to use some of my old papers, some of my old dies, just a little bit of everything to see what we could get. So now I'll leave it to you. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and bye for now. I'll see you next week.